Hello there. Good evening. It is day 132 of reading the Bible in a year. And it's more side than I thought. My hair parting is there today. I tried it there. It looked absolutely horrible. So I've gone there. It's normally over here. But I don't like it. Anyway, today is day 131 of reading the Bible in a year, and 132 of reading the Bible in a year, and I've got 3 readings to do today, and I'm starting a new book. 2 new books today. I'm doing Ecclesiastes chapters 1, 2 and 3, and at the end of the night I'm doing 2 Timothy chapter 1. Wow. I think there's only 4 chapters of 2 Timothy. But there's 12 chapters of Ecclesiastes. So let's start reading. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, the vanity of life. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. Vanity of vanities is all is vanity. What profit has a man for all his labour, in which he toils under the sun? 1 generation passes away, and another generation comes. But the earth abides forever. The sun also rises, and the sun goes down, and hastens to the place where it arose. The wind goes toward the south, and turns around to the north. The wind whirls about continually, and comes again on its circuit. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. To the place from which the rivers come, there they return again. All things are full of labour. Men cannot express it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. That which has been is what will be. That which is done is what will be done. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which it may be said, "See, this is new. Look"? It has already been in ancient times before us. There is no remembrance of former things, nor will there be any remembrance of things that are to come, by those who will come after. I'll talk afterwards. The grief of wisdom. I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem, and I set my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all that is done under heaven. This is burdensome task God has given to the sons of man, by which they may be exercised. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and indeed all is vanity and grasping for the wind. So that's why he starts with vanity is of vanities. All is vanity. What is crooked cannot be made straight, and what is lacking cannot be numbered. I communed with my heart, saying, Look, I have attained greatness, and have gained more wisdom than all who were before me in Jerusalem. My heart has understood great wisdom and knowledge. And I set my heart to know the wisdom, and to know madness and folly. I perceived that this is also as grasping for the wind. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he who increases knowledge increases sorrow. Chapter 2. the vanity of pleasure. I said in my heart, come now, I will test you with mirth, therefore enjoy pleasure. But surely this also was vanity. I said of laughter, madness, and of mirth, what does it accomplish? I searched in my heart how to gratify my flesh with wine, while guiding my heart with wisdom, and how to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was good for the sons of men to do under heaven all the days of their lives. I made my works great. I built myself houses and planted myself vineyards. I made myself gardens and orchards, and I planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made myself water pools from which to water the growing trees in the grove. I acquired male and female servants and had servants born in my house. Yes, I had greater possessions of herds and flocks than all who were in Jerusalem before me. I also gathered for myself silver and gold, and the special treasures of kings and all the provinces. I acquired male and female singers, the delights of sons of men, and musical instruments of all kinds. So I became great and excelled more than all who were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. Whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them. I did not withhold my heart from any pleasure. For my heart rejoiced in all my labour, and this was my reward from all my labour. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had done, and on the labour which I had toiled, and indeed all was vanity, grasping for the wind. There was no profit under the sun. This is quite a thing to read. I think Solomon was coming to the end of his life in this. The end of the wise and the fool. Then I turned myself to consider wisdom and madness and folly. And what can the man do who succeeds the king? Only that what he has already done. Then I saw that wisdom excels folly, as light excels darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walks in darkness. Yet I myself perceived that the same event happens to them all. So I said in my heart, as it happens to the fool, it also happens to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart, this is also vanity. For there is no more remembrance of the wise than of the fool forever, since all that now is will be forgotten in the days to come. And how will a wise man die? As the fool. Therefore I hated life, because the work that was done under the sun was distressing me. For all is vanity and grasping for the wind. Then I hated all my labour, in which I had toiled under the sun, because I must leave it to the man who will come after me. And who knows whether he will be wise or a fool? Yet he will rule over all my labour, in which I toiled, and in which I have shown myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. Therefore I turned my heart and despaired for all the labour in which I had toiled under the sun. For there is a man whose labour is with wisdom, knowledge, and skill, yet he must leave his heritage to a man who has not laboured for it. This also is vanity and a great evil. For what has man for all his labour, and for the striving of his heart, with which he has toiled under the sun? For all his days are sorrowful, and his work burdensome. Even in the night his heart makes no rest. This also is vanity. Nothing is better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that his soul should enjoy his good in his labour. This also I saw was from the hand of God. For who can eat and who can have enjoyment more than I? For God gives wisdom and knowledge to a man who is good in his sight, but to the sinner he gives the work of gathering and collecting, that he may give to him who is good before God. This also is vanity and grasping for the wind. I kind of feel sorry for Solomon at the end here. Come on, one more chapter. Chapter 3. Everything has its time. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to gain and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love, a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. The God-given task. What profit has the worker from that in which he labours? I have seen the God-given task with which the sons of men are to be occupied. He has made everything beautiful in its time. Also he has put eternity in their hearts, except that no one can find out the work that God does from beginning to end. I know that nothing is better for them than to rejoice and to do good in their lives, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of his labour. It is a gift from God. I know that whatever God does, it shall be forever. Nothing can be added to it, and nothing taken away from it. God does it that men should fear before him. That which is has already been. That which is has already been. And what is to be has already been. And God requires an account for what is past. Injustice seems to prevail. Moreover, I saw under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there, and in the place of righteousness, iniquity was there. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time for every purpose and for every work. I said in my heart, concerning the condition of the sons of men, God tests them, that they may see that they themselves are like animals. For what happens to the sons of men also happens to animals. One thing befalls them, as one dies, so dies the other. Surely they all have one breath. Man has no advantage over animals, for all is vanity. All go to one place, and all are from the dust, and all return to dust. Who knows the spirit of the sons of men, which goes upward, and the spirit of the animal, which goes down to the earth? So I perceived that nothing is better than a man should So I perceived that nothing is better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his heritage. For who can bring him to see what will happen after him? And I've heard Ecclesiastes referenced quite a bit over my life, especially that a time to bit there in chapter 2. Yeah. It makes me think that these are the sayings of an old man about to die. A wise man by his own profession and by others, writing down his thoughts that he couldn't have until he was at his end. Yeah. I mean, some people can write this kind of thing when they're young as well, but only when they get to a certain point that feels like an end. Yay. So I will stop there for that reading. And I will see you in the next reading where I'm reading Psalm 45.